on a larger spiritual level, on a universal scale. And also, we see this a ton in the astrology. Again, a lot of it having to do with Pluto and Aquarius, which hit on the 20th. But we're seeing that the media is going to be taken over, and everyone on TikTok. We already do pretty darn well on here, right? But by real people, real journalists. It has to happen. We have to get back to the truth. And we're seeing this play out in Gaza with the journalists there from Motaz, to I'm trying to think of her name, the girl with the curly hair, Bisan. There was another girl. No, I know Motaz just left. I think it was yesterday. He was able to evacuate and he did leave, which I think was brilliant because he has a bigger story to tell. He could do better and do more from outside of that space. They have maxed out, not all of them, but most of them, they have maxed out the storytelling they could possibly do. What I find phenomenal about the journalists there, okay, is first of all, the death rate is unprecedented. I believe it's at like 120, 125. It is the most ever journalists murdered in a targeted way where they're receiving texts every day, they're receiving death threats, their families are being threatened and their families are being outed. I mean, the IDF is bombarding them 24/7 with these threats, then literally finding them and wiping them out. Can you imagine this? And they can't leave, some of them obviously, because they can't. But then, like, when they have the opportunities to, sometimes they're torn. The one journalist, please put her name in the comment section if you have it. I know her children just went, she stayed, she said, I'm not going, my story is not done here. I mean, the guts, okay, of these people, my god, my god. So these amazing journalists now are, sometimes with not a lot else to do, okay, have started doing this beautiful thing where they try to cheer up the kids. And some of the adults there will like put on clown makeup or try to do funny dances and gather the children together and do a makeshift kind of day at school and gym class and anything. I mean, they're just trying to do anything to keep these children's spirits alive while they know that, they're losing limbs, and they have no anesthesia. They're having their limbs cut off without any anesthesia. Their parents are gone and deceased. They have no family. They have nothing but each other. Nothing but each other. Okay, these people. And the adults are also really focused on getting the kids to talk more about how they used to live or how they want to live in the future or what they dream about. And I watch video after video of this. So many of these children are saying, I want to be a journalist. That's what I'm going to do. And the journalists have started taking the children and giving them a mic and giving them the vest and giving them the helmet. And they're letting them speak about the atrocities that are going on. Okay. And they are nailing it. I mean, these kids are on fire. Also, the other thing I find interesting about this on a more universal scale is that never in my life, anyways, have I ever seen a situation, even in times of war, where journalists had journalists talking about the journalists. All of these journalists have like media accounts that are like mimicking them. And I think Motaz ended up with like 8.2 million new subscribers in a matter of like 3 days or something, when he really started getting into this like last month. But like they now have, not only, I'm not talking about just like fake accounts or bot accounts. I'm talking about other people who are stepping up and acting as journalists to speak on their behalf, okay, of these journalists in Gaza. And so they're taking their content and they're pumping it out. They're pumping it out. They're duetting it. They're stitching it, right? They're going deep dive. They're getting people. If Basan, for example, says, I want a 2-week strike, which I believe just happened, started yesterday, right? A boycott, like a full-on boycott, a strike. We're not spending any money. When they say something like that, they have these journalists, these sort of self-made journalists working under them to get it out. This is amazing. I mean, this is amazing. Okay. So I love what's happening here with that, even in the darkness. And 100% that's going to be something that we see more, I want to say, in the next, 10 to 12 years. We see it in the astrology and on a universal scale, because it's the only way we're going to get in checks and balances, like things back in balance, where like truth is becoming more known and people are less brainwashed, and the right stories, are being told. So it's going to require bold journalists, real journalists, to be seen. And quite frankly, we got to wipe out what's here.